Hey, greetings everyone out there. Rod here. Today I've come up with 3 really simple and easy rewards to give to your players in place of the gold pouch or a weapon upgrade. You know, because all the glitters in Dungeons and Dragons isn't really gold. It's other things that are more important. Next, here on Thaco's Cave. When your adventuring party usually finishes with, say, rescuing the damsel in distress or going and slaying the bandit orc clan that's raiding farms and killing all the cattle, you usually give them a pouch of some modest coins, a little weapon upgrade, or something along those lines. Personally, myself, I see that as maybe patronizing my players. You know, because when you just give them gold and weapons, they begin to get a little chastened and realize, well, all this is about is gold and weapons, you know? So I've came up with an idea that I've implemented throughout the years where I do something different. So the number one thing that I like to do is give my player characters prestige. Now, this isn't like the reputation farming that you have to do in RPG games like World of Warcraft and some of those others, where you're just sitting there going on grind after grind after grind and getting nowhere with the faction that you're trying to build reputation with. What I'm talking about here is, say, a slip of paper signed by a nobleman that can be used to get free lodging at an inn or discounts at a local merchant. Sometimes if the noble is high enough in rank, or maybe even the lord of the land, that signature and that seal could get you past good guard posts, you know, that are favorable to that person. I find that this is very useful to my players because without that, they might be detained. Another thing that I like to give them is maybe a simple trinket, or they would think of as a simple trinket, but it tells others that are in favor of that area, hey, these people are favorable toward the land or the kingdom. But others outside, or that are like warring with them, wouldn't know about this stuff. Like, let's say a leather wristband, for example. It's brown and black, or it's green and tan, or something like that. And you'd give it to a ranger or a druid or something like that, or a rogue, because, you know, that's the stuff that they wear. But that would be something that has some kind of an endowment on it that would say, hey, these are good people, let them pass without problems. The second thing I like to do, whenever my players begin to get reputation with small communities. So, for example, in the Lost Mines of Fendover. There, I got to spit out. For some reason, I'm finding that to be a tongue twister lately. With the community of Phandalin, you know, there wasn't really much going on at the end except for, oh yeah, you're going to get all this loot and everything else. But I made it so that the citizens there showed appreciation, and they took and organized a banquet in the honor of the characters. You know, everybody made their signature dishes. The merchants around town provided the flatware, the plates, the tables, the tablecloths, and even the ale that they drank at the celebration. Which tells your players, hey, you know, the people appreciate me. Now that right there can go several different directions. You know, that could lead into more quests later on down the road. This could be continuation after continuation coming up, which is really good. And that celebration gives your players that much needed break, and it makes them go, I'm appreciated. I really think it does, because I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from stuff like that. And finally, the third thing I've done is I take something from my character's background. Now this I find to be very, very rewarding to your players and their characters. Now I got that spit out too, almost wrapped my tongue around it. So if you take just a little snippet from their background, put it into your story, like I did with the same scenario where I did the celebration, I took and had a laughter of a young girl as she was running through the background. Now, one of my players, I helped them with their background, so I knew this very well. They had their sister disappeared into thin air at a carnival. And the last thing he heard was her laughter. And it just haunted him. So by putting that in there, made the character think, hey, that's my sister's laughter. I need to go investigate and see where this is coming from, which would get the other players involved in this also, which would lead off into something trailing off of Lost Mines of Phandelver without going into Against the Giants or whatever, Storm King's Thunder, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of other things at the same time. So this right here is a way of showing appreciation to your players. Now, if any of this has been helpful to you, give me a thumbs up. That's all you gotta do. Just, hey, good job, man, good job. Or leave me a comment down below. Tell me, what are things that you do to show your players appreciation by giving them rewards that are not just gold, weapons, armor, stuff like that they could use later on in the game, or you can use to further the story plot. So till next time, guys, you have a great game. Now, grab that D8 and roll your damage.